invitation to engage with these debates in somewhat of greater depth. So what I'm going to do is take you through. So just that I'm terrified of watching my time.
Go first.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take you through the story of feminist rights debates as they panned out in relation to our digital context. So I'm going to kind of give a theory of feminism, and by the digital context, I refer to life on the planet, mediated as it is by the internet and digital technologies. These technologies have not only provided us the tools to interact and communicate, they've also laid out a new way to be and to become. New ways for communicating, new modes of organizing markets. So how many of you buy online, off e-commerce platforms? So we do interact, but we also engage as consumers in the market. And of course, new norms for political practice. As the digital makes old theories somewhat unfamiliar, so taking off from what Anita said, I'm going to say that the whole notion of the digital has forced us to re-look at the economy and society and politics. We seem to need new frameworks to interpret everything. And this is applicable to feminist politics as well. So what I'm going to do is to talk about how discourses of gender equality and women's rights, what we understand by the story of gender equality, are intertwined with the discourse of digital rights. So I'm saying that these two are coming together. So in some strange way, these are getting coupled. That's because rights are not a neutral tool for protection of individuals. Rights are not abstract, something that we can get a handle on, but they are themselves a vehicle of governance and domination. So when you talk about rights, who talks about rights? What do they mean by rights? All of these are embedded into the politics of rights. So rights open up all these circumscribed possibilities. So certain rights can actually open up a certain way of life. So when you say right to livelihood, right to education, right to housing, they mean something. But rights are also a key side of establishing hegemony. So rights are also ways by which power gets established. For a long, long time, there was no right to sit. But just a couple of months ago, a women's trade union in Kerala took a case to the High Court and said that as retail traders standing for about 12 hours from morning to evening, they had a right to sit for some time. So there is a new right to sit. So dominant digital rights discourses. So when you say digital rights, there are many, many things that come to mind. Free expression, choices, etc., which is what I'm going to look at. They reflect certain political ideologies and a certain vision of society. And therefore, they shape feminist politics in certain particular ways. Yeah. So in the next 20 minutes or so, I hope to take us through 4 different chronological milestones. These are chronological, but they are also not mutually exclusive. So when I'm going to talk about the freedom term, or when I'm going to talk about the intelligence and the ethics terms, doesn't mean that the freedom term has gone away. But I'm going to say that in the recent history of the internet, in the past 20-25 years, we've had a certain dominant discourse on the digital, and we're going to have to look at the feminist responses to all these things. And I'm going to show you how the story has gone through all these dominant narratives, these dominant kinds of terms in history. And what I would like to suggest is, it's not good news for feminist politics, because we are in somewhat of a crisis. The first is the freedom term. So let's rapidly parachute into the freedom years and the excitement around the almost real emancipation that took the northern world by storm in the early 90s. Emancipation from the binaries of nature and culture, male and female, reality and representation, and indeed, human and non-human. So have some of you, are you familiar with the term cyborg? Yeah, some of you, okay. So the whole idea that man and machine, or humans and machines can come together, it's a little bit like the story of the Fitbit. You don't know whether the Fitbit is you or you are you, because you're seemingly coming together in a certain fusion. And so there is this promise in the early 90s. And the early 90s was marked by this tremendous excitement, mainly coming from the tech world, the engineers. How many engineers here? Okay. So maybe you were born then, or you may have heard of the Californian ideology, but if you have not, then I'm here to tell you. The Californian ideology was characterized by a coming together of the new left and new right. So you had radical individualism, libertarianism, and neoliberal economics, with what was a deeply shared interest in anti-statism. So, you had a common enemy, and that was the state. So all this was for a tech utopia because you could suddenly get rid of the government and you could suddenly find freedom. Now, postmodern feminists from the north, they dreamt of this cyborgian existence. The body was becoming too much of destiny and you needed an escape. And it seemed like, finally there was this moment where you could go online and be yourself. So this theory has been beautifully argued, but it has been far too optimistic. So now, year 2000. Now, year 2000 was a watershed because the UN General Assembly, have you heard of the Millennium Development Goals? So the UN General Assembly, it passed a resolution just before the Millennium Development Goals, and it said, now, information and communication technologies are going to be put to the service of humanity. This is something the United States of America took very seriously, despite its disinclination of all things UN. Okay, familiar face? Familiar face?
Yes.
So this is fast forward, and in 2010, Hillary Clinton gave a speech. This was her remarks on internet freedom. And she elevated internet freedom to be a major foreign policy agenda of the new Obama administration. And 2 months before that speech, she had announced a new program. It was called Civil Society 2.0. And this was supposed to put a lot of American money, US dollars, into helping grassroots organizations around the world to use digital technology. And she allocated $5 billion in grant funds for programs in Middle East and North Africa to bolster new media and networking capabilities of organizations in these countries. Arab women, in particular, were now going to become free. They could express themselves finally. This went well for the new digital agenda and for the countries of Africa, because by the mid-90s, Egypt was already the International Monetary Fund's poster child. They were the perfect neoliberal markets. And the North, being the US, was now all set to trade freedom for markets. So US wanted to sell its digital goods, and it was saying, take freedom and give us your markets. This was also the time Google was just about an aspiring player, the harbinger of all speech free. It even proposed to the US and the EU that internet censorship in any country like China, bad word, if they indulge in internet censorship, it should be treated as a trade barrier. We should not be doing trade with those countries. So such was the power and euphoria of the idea of digital markets. The Internet Freedom Platform of Northern governments, corporations, and NGOs has really meant the setting of many foundations, NGOs in the global south. And all of them are talking the same language that we are talking about rights and activism, but something that's decoupled from resistance movements challenging neoliberalism. That's because the libertarian ideas of freedom almost naturally intersect with market ambitions to reach the unreached. Everyone must have a mobile phone, so certain companies from the north will come and give you mobile phones. So how free are we? In 2012, a Syrian woman posted a picture of herself holding up her passport with a veiled picture in the passport and a sign saying, I'm with the uprising of women in the Arab world because for 20 years I wasn't allowed to feel the wind in my hair and my body. The picture was taken down by Facebook because it purportedly violated the site's community standards, because Facebook wants to actually have markets in the Middle East and West Asia, and it cannot afford to endanger its markets there. So when the idea of freedom becomes deeply contested between political feminism, market consideration, and state interests, we know who wins. The internet has its own ways of ushering in justice. Next. So the choice term. So now this brings us to the next landing in the choice term, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Iranian blogger here. He went to jail in 2008, okay? And he came out in 2014 and he was in for a terrible shock. That's because the internet was completely different now. And in the years since 2008, it had become a new feature. Fewer users were directly checking dedicated web pages. I don't even know if you were all familiar with this, but in the early years, if you wanted to go looking for something, you needed to type in an address, a URL. Today, you don't have to do anything. You just go to Google Maharaj and you do that, and then everything appears. And better still, if you have your mobile phone, anyway, it's telling you things even before you want to, do its auto complete, right? So he got a complete shock because when he went to jail, he didn't know that the internet existed like that. So now he realized that it was getting fed by a never-ending flow of information picked for people by the internet through some complex and secretive algorithms. There was a stream of choices. Hussein realized this meant you don't need to open so many websites anymore. You don't need numerous tabs. You don't even need a web browser. You open the Facebook app on that wonderful thing called your smartphone and you just dive in. The mountain had come to Muhammad. Algorithms had picked everything for you. Newness and popularity, but all that happened. Next slide. So, a couple of years ago, Facebook was allowing you to choose from 52 types of sexuality choices. We as feminists were delighted. 52, my, that's lovely. And I'm told, and yesterday I just checked online, if you're in certain countries, like if you're in the UK, you have 71 types to choose from. In certain countries, you will have 35, in certain others, 72. It really doesn't matter that all these things are definitions coming from somewhere else. Next slide. So, and 2018 and Back to the Future, what does all this choice mean? It seems that we've paid little heed to what my Lebanese friend Naveen says. She warns us. And some queer activists seem to believe that Western sexual rights campaigns will somehow trickle down into our post-colonial communities and have a positive impact. They take hope in young millennials, many of you here, digital natives, who have grown up more liberal-minded, speaking a universal internet coolness language that has transgressed boundaries. I'm using a lot of your words. Remember, a project for queer liberation is bound to the resistance of colonialism and capitalism. Theirs is not. So if you're actually, even if you're the most sensitive northern feminist, you have not grown up in a post-colonial reality. Here you are embedded in that. Next. Thankfully, even as we had begun to take the goodies of the smartphone for granted, someone came up and spoiled the party and called out Emperor's designer clothes. It was all about those 4 letters. 4 letters. Somebody. D-A. Data. Next slide. But your security was your individual responsibility. And there were many organizations. So the internet was what it is, They will track your data, they will violate your privacy. But if you really want your privacy, then go and learn all the tools. Go through all the complex settings. And privacy is that thing which you pursue through this complex manipulation of digital settings in a ruthless world of spectacular non-anonymity. If you do badly want to, you can enroll for a digital wellness course. Previous slide. So that is in Hindi, and there are these common service centers in rural India. Have you been to one of those? It's just like Bangalore one, where you go and pay your bills and get information, fill up application forms, register for Aadhaar and all of that. So the VLCs, or the village level entrepreneurs, they have been invited to take a course in digital wellness, which means basically how to tweak your security settings. What all of this means is, if you want to take care of your safety, then don't blame Google. You go up and do it. Today in privacy debates, we see shrill articulations. Libertarians talk about the need to let people decide what they wish to do with their data. If data is indeed undivestible from individuals, then individuals should be able to trade their data for their conveniences. You want to shop on Amazon? Then better leave your data behind. Not only does this imaginary the right to privacy assume a homo economicus. How many of you know the term homo economicus? The standard male in the market who will make rational decisions because everything is rational. This homo economicus should be able to decide clearly when and on what terms to trade data. But what this kind of, go up and enroll for a security training course, what does it do? It actually obscures the deep cunning of human scientific pursuits. Human science is somewhat grand. It really thinks that it's the best thing. If something is knowable, science will make it known. Because science believes that it's the business of making things knowable. So a group may be discriminated against based on the knowledge of a single piece of information like race. But when you are actually operating on a large data set and you know one thing, what you can actually do with some aggregated mobile data where none of your names is there, by the way. But I know one thing about you. I know that all of you are on APU campus, or all of you belong to a particular community, or all of you speak a particular language. With 95% accuracy, I can predict many other things about you. So, what is all this? Anonymity. So there's no way to prevent discrete data elements in an aggregated data set from being retraced back to the telltale story that one gave away. That you are this, you're Dalit, you're a woman, you're queer, etc. Hiding data about abortion from the surveillance state with all the security training, you might have put all your settings properly, will still be impossible. And if you're the beneficiary of public health services, the government will tell you that if you want a service, trade your information, trade your data. Next one. So the intelligence. So we now turn to times of machine intelligence. How many of you have heard of the word AI, artificial intelligence? Okay. Nothing big for the rest of you. It's just that if you take data from people, you make use of it in order to find patterns. That's why when you go up on Amazon and buy a book, it will tell you people who bought this book also bought that book. As if you need that advice very bad. So that is because of machine intelligence. The machine is learning on its own just because millions and millions and millions of people are buying things online and showing a certain pattern. Just like the Industrial Revolution and its factory shop floor, the Digital Revolution and its artificial intelligence is paradigmatic. Okay, keep this slide. That is a very important document which I hope APU will start prescribing in its essential readings. It's called National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence, which the NITI Aayog just released a couple of months back. Health, agriculture, transport, education, and even cities, smart cities, are going to be based on microchips, drones, cameras, GIS, and all of these are going to make decisions. Human beings are not going to make decisions. Data will be the basis of all decisions. And the NITI Aayog has released this document. It's quite a well-written document. Now, with all the big data safely tucked into their vaults, the US and big tech companies are all set to totally change the way things run, and things can be made to run. While Europe and China are rapidly playing catch up, most developing countries seem to be completely lost. But fear not, we are told. So long as our amazing women can be on Amazon selling their wares, so the idea is e-commerce is going to be very good for women. Why? Because all these women, who are selling tomatoes, fish, and everything else, should get greater opportunity in greater markets online. So why are we complaining? Because development opportunity is bound to trickle down. Give us your data and we will give you a future brimming with intelligent solutions. In a world where the power of artificial intelligence drives the world with its automated cars, have you heard of automated cars? So it's self-driving cars. It does that because it has these features which are sensors and it understands what to do when it actually sees a cow on the road or slowly home. It also reorders knowledge, allowing and disallowing the narratives that make sense, common sense, and everything in between. Slide. As a determinant of our sensibilities, algorithms have taken over meaning making. So to gain circulation, online, make sure that you have all the memes which are very attractive. They should make sense to the average white audience. They must know the math. You must know that what is the meaning of hits? Have you heard of the word hits? Like everyone's going behind hits, right? And decipher the logics that make for a tweetable story. Is your story good? Then the next question is it tweetable? If it's tweetable, it's a good story. It's not enough to be out there or even be visible. You must be legible enough to capture social memory and engage the best media consultants to run your campaign. If you don't have media consultants, too bad. So what happens with all of this algorithmic kind of activism, is that deep conversation is really not possible. We all live in these filter bubbles. Some of us, we will only be reading certain newspapers, others will be reading certain other newspapers, and we really don't want to talk to each other. If you are taking that lift, I'm taking the other lift. So, in this intelligent world of unconversations, we can all safely steer away from oppositional views. We can't sit in a room and debate. We go and subscribe, and then of course we come back and we troll and we stalk and we use hate speech, and we register those sites where then we will go and track certain people and register cases against them. So in a world of hate and prejudice, algorithms are happy to be your Persian messengers, running wildly to deliver your message of violence. We now know enough about WhatsApp-propelled violence. So we've heard about this, right? WhatsApp, so many things are happening when these things are going viral against the Rohingya. And of course, closer home to the shameful events in which the virality of social media has been co-implicated. So I'm going to say one very complicated theoretical thing, so please pay attention. Social segmentation is reproduced with dangerous oversimplification in the world of algorithms. So society is divided, society has hierarchies, society is stratified, and therefore algorithms will pick it up, right? Or we could also say the algorithmification of society is in a mutually reinforcing relationship with segmentations of the data world. So who you are as society is reflected in the algorithms, and who you are in the algorithms is reflected back in society. So therefore you have biases of gender, race, class, ethnicity, all of this becoming decoded, entrenched and normalized. And we will see more about this tomorrow in our class so that we can have an interactive class. Next one. The looming perils of the breathless digital world seem to now offer the ultimate olive branch. We are terrible. Someone went to the Congress in the US and confessed. We are very bad. Who's that? Who's that? Yes, I'm hearing the word. The developments in the post-Snowden years have seen a kind of crescendo in data-fied civilization. The rise and rise of social media, the deployment of big data for elections, indiscriminate use of personal data in sectors like fintech. Have you heard of fintech? If you want money, you should have an app. You download the app, someone will give you money. And insurance, the securitization of cities with ridiculously huge investments in cameras and public spaces, huge budget allocations for the police for high-tech forensics, and now viral poisoning of the social fabric. It's clear how automation may take away jobs, but it's not clear how a positive framework for digital technologies can bring equity and justice. And now there is a normative and ethical vacuum. Nobody knows what it means to be good. So, next slide. Yeah, 5 minutes, make it 5. 5 is okay now. From the do no evil of yesteryear, the digital corporation has explicitly and boldly opened its arms to the language of ethics. Now, who's talking the language of ethics? Not the social leaders, not the social movement leaders, but all the corporations. So Mark Zuckerberg went up to the Congress and said, finally, please regulate us. We are wrong. And then he also, in a CNN interview, he cried and he said, earlier I wanted my daughters to think of me as this grand man who conquered the world. Now I just want them to grow up and be proud of me. Then next slide. Well, so Google has also come up with its artificial intelligence principles. It got very scared because all its employees started saying, why are you selling your technology to US Defense, the military establishment, for warfare? This is not on, we are going to resign. And it said, no, engineers are very important to us, and therefore please stay, and we will come up with AI principles. And the principles are, very wishy-washy because all the lawyers have sat and drafted it. Now, I don't have too much time. So what I wish to conclude with is that in the coming together of feminist action frameworks and digital rights discourses. Next slide. We see a certain way by which feminism itself is evolving. Because the technology is not outside society, right? The technology is inside society, and we are interacting with that technology. We are that, and that is us. And so, at some level, feminism and feminist politics is getting circumscribed by the way by which, or it's getting bounded and defined by the way in which the digital technologies are evolving. Struggles for recognition and assertion of identity, which in many ways are useful as data fodder for authoritarian capitalism, seem to get room. So if you have a particular type of politics, it will get noticed. These feminist spaces don't really rock the boat for structures of neoliberal global capital. This is not to suggest that Big Brother cannot easily repress claims to sexuality and identity. The authoritarian state is very much the elephant in the room. But what I'm seeking to underline here is a certain erasure. You understand the meaning of the word erasure? Take an eraser and remove it. You omit it, you remove it. And that is of a different kind of body politics, where claims to pleasure, the right to freedom from brutal pain, from hunger, from institutionalized exploitation, all inhere in the individual in a unified and undivestible way. So certain people are welcome, certain people are not. And I want to give you a small, small quotation from Nisha Susan, who runs Lady's Finger, and she said something beautiful. She went to Jharkhand to be part of the protest against the land acquisition bill. Outside the district collector's office, a whole bunch of young people had congregated. They had printed copies of the land bill with them. They laid it on the ground and they pooped on the copies. Right? They shat on the copies. Someone shot a video and posted it on YouTube. And Nisha thought, this will go viral. But it didn't go viral. So she says, looking back, I feel that of course it didn't go viral because the aesthetic does not fit into the cute and funny fluff that is prized online. You have to have a smart meme if it has to go viral. You can't sound ordinary. You have to sound like something can be picked up. So these articulations that are made possible and the silences that are bounded off by a disciplining digital society and its permissible repertoire of politics needs close feminist scrutiny. That is why Ruth Manorama, who's a Dalit feminist, says that Dalit women must never respond to campaigns like Me Too, because we just end up becoming numbers for the benefit of Savarna feminists. We may agree with this partly or wholly, or disagree with this completely, but we must engage with the subtext of what Ruth is pointing to, that the less visible, more obscure politics of feminism will be rendered irrelevant if meanings become decontextualized in the interest of a hashtag that must go viral. We need to invent a new politics of place that makes room for much more than the figure of the autonomous, active, desiring